Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the Plus Two podcast. Today we got a different camera angle. Instead of the camera being here, it's kind of to the side. Uh, that's just how it is today, and it's a bit higher. But once again, I'll try to look up there. But sorry if I don't. But today we have an interesting podcast for you today. We have one of Sweden's best cubers here, especially in the blind events. So, guys, shall we meet our guest for today? Today's guest, he is Sweden's newest national record holder. He got it last week, I think it was. So if you were watching the podcast last week, then you might know who it is. He's also one of Sweden's best blind cubers. He's second only to Daniel Wallin in big cubes and fourth for 303 blindfolded. But guys, shall we meet him? Here we have him. It's Eskil right here.
Yo, what's up?
Now, Eskil, you were just at a competition, right?
Yeah, I was at a competition like 20 minutes, or now 3 hours ago. It ended about 3 hours ago in Jönköping.
And he actually got three blind PR, right?
Yeah, 20.95 PR by 500ths of a second, so it wasn't too bad.
I mean, PR is always a successful comp, right?
Exactly.
Now, today, as you guys might see from the title, we're going through the levels of blindfolded solving, seeing that we have a pretty high caliber blind solver here with us. So why don't we start off with the basic level? You're just learning blindfolded. Maybe you're watching Jay Pern's videos. Maybe you're watching, I don't know, what's his name, Jack Guy. There's lots of YouTubers making tutorials. What is your biggest tips for these people that want to learn blind?
I think at the beginning you have to be very patient because blind is very hard to learn. For example, it took me a very long time to just understand how blind works, how a buffer works. So don't stress it. Don't just look at a tutorial a couple of times or different tutorials until you understand, because blind is not is solving a cube blindfolded isn't really the simplest of tasks. So you have to take it slow and don't be mad because you're not as quick to learn blind as someone else. For example, I took probably a month to learn it, and then it took like 10 attempts to get a first solve. Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, for me, I have a 250 PR, so 2 minute 50. So it's, I would say I'm an intermediate. You know, I'm not a beginner, but you know, I'm not going for the wins at all the competitions. But for me, it took me probably like the whole summer last year. I think from maybe May, start of June to well, I competed at Svealands. No, yeah, Svealands Mästerskapet. That was in August, I'm pretty sure. So that's the time they took me to learn blind, basically, and then a couple weeks more to get the first success. Because, well, you know, you don't always get your success at the first competition.
Exactly. That's so true. I remember when I first learned blind, I think when I actually could solve a cube blindfolded was September 2023. But I know I was interested in learning how to solve one blindfolded in some earlier months. But I didn't understand it at that time, so I just delayed it. And then I got very good at it in September, and I competed in it in October and got a 130 PB single. No, I got a 240 PR single and a 134 PB single unofficially. But then I just kept practicing for I think I practice blind more than any event. I practice it basically everywhere. If I had a long break in school, I was going to practice blind because it takes a lot of time to
Yeah, and
all that stuff.
especially at the start when you are maybe around the the 5 to 10 minute range, sometimes you don't have the time for doing multiple solves. I know that for you, for example, you can solve it in what 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds
Yeah,
usually, right?
I guess I average
So
like 25.
yeah, so it's basically it's just as fast as some people's 3x3 solves, like normal, which you always have time for 3x3. So
Mm.
I mean, you can get lots of practice in, and well, for the beginners, and even for me, I need maybe 3 to 4 minutes on average to get a success, or not a success, but attempt to solve when you
Yeah.
count in scrambling and you know all the other stuff that might happen. So all you got to do is find some time. Maybe it's 2 solves, 3 solves a day. What do you think about that? 2 or 3 solves a day, and just keep on
Yeah.
practicing.
Yeah, of course. If you only do one solve per day, if you stay consistent on every day, you're gonna get better. But then one solve isn't that much. I would, if you really want to get good at blind very fast, then you would probably need to do start at like 5 solves, and then when you get
Mm.
faster and have more time and maybe average like 2 flats, then you can do 7, and then you go down to 1 minute, and then you have to learn a new method and all that, and that also brings up the practice time. If you, for example, are learning M2 or the most advanced method freestyle, you have to spend a lot of time just learning it, because freestyle is probably one of the hardest things in all of cubing to understand at first.
And what is your opinion on which methods you should learn? Because some people say start with OP, then you go to M2 OP, then M2 3 style, and then 3 style 3 style.
Yeah,
But
that
so,
was my progression. I think to learn old Pacman first is, at the beginning, is kind of unnecessary. It is very good to get used to the feeling of blind, the feeling of a buffer and all of that stuff, because old Pacman is very simple also. But M2 is, I would say, maybe almost as simple, but it saves like extremely extreme amounts of time, because you'd only do one move as a alg, except for 14 moves. So it's I think if you want to, yeah, I think you could probably learn M2 OP as a first blind method.
and the hardest thing with M2 OP is of course the 4 exception, or the
Yeah,
4
the
special
for,
cases.
yeah,
So I S, and
yeah,
then A, no, sorry, what's
Q,
that? So C and C and W. No, yeah, C and W
yeah,
aren't the hardest. It's just U's and
yeah, but it's,
M's, and then Q is, well, Q I just do sexy solve for
oh,
E.
yeah, yeah. I understand. It's been a lot of, it's been quite a while since I used them too, but I
Yeah,
still remember it.
but I mean, now let's just say you've learned, your basics, so you can memorize the cube and you can solve it like a third of the time, which is normal, a third of the time. But now you're sitting around the 5 minute mark, so M2OP as well. What are
Mm.
your steps from the 5 minute mark down to, I guess, where I am, so 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah, that progression is just practice as any
Mm.
other. If you're you can also practice different part of your blind solving. You can practice memo. Memo is very important in the beginning because when you learn blind, you learn a lettering scheme, and that lettering scheme can take a bit of solves to just get used to. So if you get very good at it and can look at a piece and tell which letter it is, then you're probably good to just practice. But just by practice, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, and now they bring up color schemes in that. What is your preferred color scheme? Because I do white top, green front.
Yeah. Oh, I meant lettering scheme. I mean like Steph's. Well, I use this color scheme.
White top, green front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what most people do nowadays. I've noticed.
Yeah. I know a lot of people used this back in the day.
Yeah.
I know Daniel does it. Lage Bonde, a very good multi-blind solver here on the West Coast, does it. Yeah. I've seen someone do this one. Yeah, there's a lot of Jack Kai does something like this, which is very
he's just like red. Yeah, but it's just personal preference. I just learned it like this from JPerm, so
yeah, exactly.
I just stuck with it. Some people like having it, like a 3x3 solve, and you gotta find your thing.
Exactly. It's the same thing for like when you learned 3x3 and learned to solve the cross on the white center. Some people learned it to learn this too, that you can do it on every color, just not just white. It's the same.
And now before we move on to the more advanced of 3 blind, when do you think is the time to expand to bigger memorization? So like 4 blind, 5 blind, multi.
Yeah, I feel like if you're at a minute range in 3 blind areas, it's appropriate to learn 4 blind. But it will, for especially 4 blind and 5 blind is very special because it's not only 3 blind, it's also that you have a bigger cube. Or that's self-explanatory.
Well, you have centers as well.
Exactly. For example, if you're gonna learn 4 blind, you need to learn how to do centers, algs, and memorization. Then you also need to store all that memorization somewhere. That's not easy to go from a 3x3 cube that only has 20 pieces. This one has like a lot more, and also the edges is very different.
Yeah, and when you bring up the topic of memorizing with 3x3, I mean, you could brute force memorize this. Right. That's basically what it's kind of what you do, I guess, with audio. It's just brute force.
Yeah.
Remember the audio.
Yeah, just repeat it in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, but then with the big cubes, now I can't find my 4x4, which is great. But
4x4 is very different because you either have to waste a lot of time on memo or practice to just brute force it, or you can put it into like a palace, Roman rooms.
And I think Roman rooms is, it's not the hardest thing to learn. I know that there's 2 main ways to do Roman rooms, as I've understood it. There's just make a big chain of rooms. That's what Donya does. Donya Berlin. That's what I do. What some other people do is 1 room per cube or step. So, I have no examples of cubers who do this because it's not one thing that you ask a lot, but you would have cube 1 for multi-blind, let's say, in room 1. Then you have 3 locations there.
I do that in multi. I put every cube in 1 room. I've gone over some changes for memo in multi. I have thought about switching corners to another room because memorizing a whole multi-cube is kind of hard if you have corners and edges. But for four blind, it's pretty nice because you can put centers in a room, edges in a room, and corners in a room, except without it being too full.
Yeah, and well, I just do the exact same thing for multi and big blind. I have my locations and use same locations and all that, same memo methods, and but you know the hard part really is that it's such a step up from 20 to, or for four blind. That's I have 7 locations times 3, 20. No, so 21 times 3. Well, that's like 60 plus pieces of information. It's 3 times the amount. So, it is hard.
Yeah, I would say five blind is the hardest event in the WCA, and four blind is probably the second hardest because I don't feel any event is anywhere near.
Yeah,
because a step up from 3 blind to 5 blind is pretty insane because you have to do a 3 blind cube plus a 4 blind cube plus T centers, which is kind of strange. Is so much. That's why my DNF rate in comp is like 80%.
Yeah, and then while we're on topic of big cubes, what is your reaction to Stanley Chappell? That's his name, right? I'm thinking of the right person. Yeah, Stanley Chappell, who won passes 4 and 5 blind.
Yeah, he's not human. This Stanley is like he's good when he put out a video after Worlds that says being Stanley Chappell is an unfair advantage. It's like, what is this guy? He's I couldn't even imagine doing 5 blind with one pass. I can barely 2 pass it, but I do 2 pass it. But for 4 blind it's not that much, but 5 blind is insane. That explains why he's like number 1 in the world and has been for like 4 years, and is 20 seconds up further from everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think before we move on to the higher levels of blind solving, cubing, whatever, we have to go through some of our favorite reoccurring sections of this podcast. The first one is one that I like a lot because it's depressing. I mean, maybe that's not a good thing, but fail of the week. Eskil, do you have a fail of this week?
Fail of the week. In blind?
Or in general, like
in general?
Maybe it is blind.
I would probably say an example from this comp. I guess my biggest fail in this comp was in the final of 2x2 I one-looked 2x2 scramble. I saw that you could cancel a lot of moves, but then I stuffed up the cancellation and I got an 11 on a 2x2,
an 11.
which is faster. No, which is slower than my 3x3 times, and I plus 2'd it, so I got a 13. But that's like typical me in 2x2. I can just troll, I guess. That's why
Yeah,
2x2 is the worst event.
Yeah, and you know that stuff happens all the time. I've had multiple averages where I don't know, one small mistake and then the whole thing is ruined with like a 12, which is not good. But for me, fail of the week, I think I sent you the picture. I think, but it's my 4 blind attempt.
Yeah.
It would have been, or it was the fastest attempt I've ever had where I've actually attempted to solve the whole cube. But I'm pretty sure what happened was that there was like one cycle that I messed up. I mismemoed one cycle, and then I forgot to memorize one more cycle. And then that led to everything solved except for what was like 2-3 cycles and I think it was 2-3 cycles.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was three cycles, something like that. And that was just sad because I'm still looking for that first 4 blind. But
yeah, I feel you. That is painful. Yeah, one small mistake and it's over. That's the hardest thing with blind. It's not easy with a lot of algorithms.
Tons of, or for me, it's not. I do U2 R2 Y perm, whatever the OP. But what is good is that I actually solved the centers, which is a miracle because usually it is that. Because have you seen that video from Stanley Chapel? It was like something with U2 centers, better way to solve U2 centers, or like things to make you faster.
I have not seen it,
but it was
I
basically.
I don't use U2 centers anymore.
Yeah. But for BLD, you have this very long algorithm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like that.
Yeah. I remember it.
But since I'm lazy and I don't want to learn that, I watched the video and there was basically 3 style, but for only BLD. But I usually mess up the 3 style alg that I have to do. So I usually get DNF because I did a slice move wrong there, and that messes up the whole thing. But this time I didn't do that, so that's encouraging.
Yeah, progress.
And here we have William. What do you think about your PR single from today, Eskil?
I think this was pretty good. It was my first 21. No, sub 21. It could have been it was a 9 alger. 9 alger with two edge flips and 2 corner twists. And I locked up pretty hard on it, so it could have been sub 20, but a PR is a PR, I guess. So I'm not.
You never
unhappy.
complain with the PR.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, well, seeing that we are on the topic of PRs and stuff, we have to go to a weekly recap, which is, fun to see what has happened this week in the world of cubing. Let me just get up, share the screen. Debbie say live, share. Then I think if I click this button, it should be Control 2. Oh, I think it is the full screen this time. It's a miracle because usually it doesn't. Oh, it's a little bit gap there, but it's fine. Let me just. Which one looks? Right, we have to remove this. Perfect. Now we can go to here, and we can see that. Well, the max park single of 1.32. Sorry, 1 minute 32 seconds. I think that was from last week. Or we went through that last week. Same thing with the fewest moves. But 2 clock continental records. One from South Africa. So a African record. 3.44 from Anja Styrdom. I don't know if I whatever. It sounds natural saying that in a Swedish accent, so I guess. What do we think about that? 3.44 clock single.
I mean, it's a good single.
I don't think we're the right people to comment on this. We aren't clock cubers. I don't think.
Wasn't William in the chat? He's a clocker. He left.
He might be. He might be. Izzy in the chat.
He won clock
If
today,
you are
so.
if you are in the chat, care to comment? But we can move on to the second one, which is another clock average or another clock, or this time it's a clock average of 3.06 from Derek Samuel Martin Juarez from Colombia. So that's a South African record, right? Yeah. No, South American record. There it is. Of 3.06, that is, which is once it's faster than the clock single content record, so that's always a good thing. William here says that single is very bad for continental record.
Yeah,
Ouch.
I guess. Relatively, I guess. Like William has a better single than it, but like I guess there's not very much comps in Africa.
Yeah, and well, I think like the same guy Daniel Rush.
Yeah.
He has like 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 7x7 continental record in both single and average. So it's usually the same guy getting all the continental records, which is good for him, but sad for the competition, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think he's kind of the only good African cuber.
Cat Cuber 69, nice. Says you can get a 3 on clock in like 2 months of practice.
I feel Ruben here. he got from like an 11 average to like a 4 average in a couple of months. So
yeah, but it just depends on like if you want to learn all the advanced stuff or not.
Yeah.
I tried learning 7 Simul, but even as a blind solver, it just hurts my brain. So no, thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
After that, we have no more continental records, but Vincent von Schantz, he got a 3 single from Finland. I think he didn't he get a national record at
he got the 660 Finnish record average.
Yeah.
He really deserves it because he's missed out of NRs for a really long time now, and he finally got it on the Nordics, and then he just continued cooking.
And other than that, just scrolling through here, looking to see if there's anything else interesting here. I don't think so. I think they removed your Pyraminx single.
Probably. But that's
no, it's still here.
Oh, there it is.
PR single. No, national record single. 0.98. And well, Vasilias. No, how do you say his name? He got a DNF on that. So if he was in the same group
I was kind of surprised that no one got a good solve on it. I guess Emanuel got a 234, which is decent for him, I guess. But it was a 6 mover. But I know like Frank didn't find it, or Busse. That's kind of sad.
So you just got lucky and looked at the right spot.
Yeah, I guess I can show the scramble. It wasn't that given. The scramble wasn't. It was extremely good. I mean, I got another single on it, but this was the scramble. It's a very big block on blue and the white. I think the most people did the white, like inserted this piece and just soldered from here.
Yeah.
But there's a really cool thing you can do on blue. It's a 3-move layer like this, and then you get this, which is 6 moves. But what a very cool thing I found in the moment was that you can do L2, and because it's a lot more finger trickable when you pick up the cube and then just solve with that, and then you just insert it. I'm kind of surprised still that I could execute it so fast because it's probably not even the easiest scramble I've gotten.
Yeah,
or it is, but I've seen better scrambles in Sweden.
yeah, and then at that same competition we had Emanuel. Wasn't he like
one move away
2
from
moves.
world record.
Yeah, 1 move away from world record basically, which is depressing for him.
Yeah,
But this close, or sorry, you're the only one on the screen right now. I forgot about that.
one move
there we
away
go.
from world record.
Yeah, he was this close to getting Sweden's next world record.
Yeah,
First time in a while actually. But
the last one was
know,
Helmer, like, wasn't it?
yeah,
Helmer
in
in
Squan.
2017.
Squan, right?
Yeah, Squan.
He doesn't even hold the Swedish national record anymore.
Not the single. I don't think he's holding the average much longer. He's probably gonna be. He's probably not going to have any more NRs after I took his Pyra single also.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And I think that was it. There's not really much else here for recent records. So that means we can head back and go through some more tips and stuff for blind solving. So where we left off was, the advanced beginner moving towards intermediate phase, which is where I am now. So I'm basically asking you what are your tips for me? What is your tips for, the 2-3 minute solvers that will, still want to improve?
Yeah, I think if you average around 3 minutes, the key to getting better is just probably practice. If you're doing the method right and using all the good algorithms, for example, you use M2OP, which is the correct one, then you just need to get better. And if you're eager to learn something, you could learn advanced M2, which is it's not really more advanced. It's a method for solving. For example, if you have I in the in a letter pair, you can use a trick for solving
both
the letter pairs at the same time.
Yeah. So it's basically 3 style, but for a couple special cases.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, you should just solve it. Practice every day.
Yeah, because it is the memo that's the important part, right?
Execution is also very important, because if you stuff up the execution, it's of course will not be solved. But memos,
that's where most of my problems is. And right now, what I do is, or what I'm working on is getting the memo time down, because I might go through 3-4 times on memo and then throw away about a good scramble, which is why my success rate has gone down a lot. And that's mostly because I basically two or 1 pass it instead of 4 passing it to train the memo. But it's disappointing that you're getting so many DNFs, but it is helping. It's mostly the corners, that is, because edges you can usually memorize pretty quickly and remember that, saying it in your head. But it's the corners that aren't sticking with me under the whole solve.
I feel it's kind of the same thing, because I'm still not perfect in one passing. I still forget the corner memo very often, because I try to memo as fast as I can in like 8 seconds. But if I memo in like 10 seconds, I probably will remember it. But for you in that case, 2 passing is very great for you in this. If you're averaging 3 minutes, and start two passing, that is a sign that you want to get better. It will
Yeah.
take a lot of time to get used to two passing, because if you average 3 minutes, most people are probably 3 or 4 passing. But if you two pass, you're going to get a lot of DNFs in the beginning. But when you get used to it, you're going to get extremely much faster, which is probably more worth it, because if you can handle DNFs, I guess.
I mean, on my what's it called? On my CS timer. Let me pull that up. I don't think I can screen share, but let's just see 3 blind. Oh yeah, I'm surprised that it's actually not worse, seeing that my DNF times. Well, I think I have to screen share it now because of how interesting this is. Let's see. Share. So, can I share my screen on CS timer? There it is. Share. Don't mind my interesting color scheme on CS timer. That's just how it looks. But if we go into times, let's just go all the way to the bottom. You know, this is when I started timing, so around the 5-minute mark. You know, some good, pretty normal stuff out feel here. Oh, good group there. But then how did I get an 8 there? That's interesting. But 311, I think it was around this 221. This is where or maybe here, the DNFs just start. Oh yeah,
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, I you know, a couple good blocks and then just DNFs on DNFs like this one right here.
Oh, okay. That looks like the section where you start breaking down
around
your memo.
here.
Yeah.
Right here is when
I can notice that, because it looks exactly the same as mine. My CS timer. I know if I scroll down like 2,000 solves, I will go back to the time I average like 4 minutes, or no, 2 minutes, or no, about 2,000 solves I probably average 40. But then when I averaged 40, I was extremely consistent. I think I had like a 20% DNF rate, which is pretty crazy. But it was because I wasn't pushing myself to get better at memorization. I was just solving it every time. But now I can have I can look at my daily statistics. I practiced the other day in free blind. I got 10 out of 35 solves, which is under a 30% success rate.
But it's not much, or it's it's about 20% success rate. But isn't it like 20 to 30% where you should be aiming?
Yeah.
For
when you, I know, especially when you start one passing, because it's a gigantic gap from two passing to one passing. When you start one passing, you will probably have like a 10% success rate. I know some people like Elliot Kobolensky had like 1% success rate, which is
that's concerning.
Yeah. I know. I'm not 100% sure if he actually had a 1% success rate, but it wasn't high. At sometimes I probably had like a 10% success rate.
And now Cat Cuber 69, once again, nice. He's asking if you can answer his 5 blind question.
I don't know your 5 blind question.
So if you're still here,
okay, I'm reading.
Send it in the chat. If you're still here, read it or put it in the chat. But I don't think it's. Yeah, put it in the chat, and we'll come back to you later.
What's your question, Ruben? I found it. It's the second comment.
Here. I'm decent at 3 edges on 3 or 3, but for midges on 5x5 is it is way harder to finger check. Should
Yeah.
you learn different algs for that?
Yeah, especially in five blind, it's very complicated because, for example, in three blind, you use a lot of algs using the E layer and the S layer. So you do this alg, for
Yeah.
example, it's very hard to execute it on five blind. That's why in five blind you should probably try to do a lot of more M algs, because M algs are a lot easier to finger trick. Than like S moves. You can't really finger trick it. You have to rotate it and do a M move. So if you have that commutator that I just showed for ND on 3x3, you just do interchanging the E layer, but it's not really realistic to do that on 5-line. So you can instead set it up to, for example, an A perm or some other commutator. U perm, I mean. So then you can just use M moves, which is a lot faster.
Sounds reasonable. But now in our not just three blind, in our blind journey, we've come up to the 1 minute mark. So what would that be like? Advance over?
Yeah, I would probably say so.
Advance over. So around 1 minute. What happens then, and what do you do? Seeing that you are pretty good now.
Yeah, at 1 minute you should be two passing at least. I think you should wait to start one passing until like at least sub 40. But if you're around the 1 minute mark, I would probably recommend learning Orozco or using M2 Orozco in solves, because Orozco for corners is a very good step up from OP, because it's a lot faster and it's a very good transition to freestyle. Because Orozco is basically doing freestyle style algs in 2 steps, which is a lot more comprehensible. So if you're at 1 minute, you should be two passing, and you should start learning commutators and using Orozco and solves.
And what you think about Eka? Because I know Eka and Orozco are the two, like the the placeholder. The placeholder methods for between M2, OP,
Exactly.
and I guess three style then. What do you think about the Eka then?
Eka is amazing. Hot take maybe, but I personally used Eka. I kind of abused it, I guess, because Eka is very useful, and you start to learn freestyle from it. Because if you, for example, have this commutator, EH, it's very hard to make up a commutator just from this. It's very much easier to just put it in the B spot and just do BH, which is like a pure comp. So I think Ika is very, very good if you want to transition into freestyle. When you do start using freestyle, you'll probably have to learn some better algs, but starting with Ika is very great.
And like, when do you think you should make the full switch to three style then? Is that after you know all the three style commutators, or maybe at 50% and then use Eka for the rest?
I think you should start doing solves with freestyle as early as possible, because getting used to freestyle takes a lot of time, and you should just start it as quick as possible. But when you don't know a freestyle alg, just use Orozco or Eka. Or just the one thing that really helped me in the beginning, which I still do when I'm trying to learn something new in freestyle. I just do visual freestyle solves. I just hold the cube and just scramble it and solve it with a freestyle method or a blind method. If you can also use it if you're learning M2. If you don't understand it, you can just practice it on a visual cube. Yeah, it's a lot easier. I've started learning some LTCT, which is ALX for learning the. If you, for example, have this, you have a corner flip and a corner twist, and you have one last target and parody. You can just do a ALG to solve everything. I've since I started learning LTCT, done a lot of visual solves just to get used to it and learn more ALGs.
And now in our quest to become a good blind solver, we have come to around where you are, I guess. So like sub 40, sub 30, pretty fast, pretty consistent. So I guess this is more like, what do you do now to practice, keep getting better, and generally your tips and tricks for moving forward after you reach the level that you're on?
Yeah, I would say right now when you do blind sessions, you do it very often, and you do a lot of solves in a week. If I do a blind session, I would probably do around 50 solves because it is very good practice to do a lot of solves, because in like 3x3 you do a lot, maybe 100 solves. It's very different from blind, because blind also takes a lot of time, but it's just like 3x3 with practice. You have to practice it a lot to get good at it. I know a very good blind solver in the Philippines. He does. One time I asked him how many solves a week he does or a day. He said he had probably done 400 solves that week, which is kind of insane. But his improvement is pretty wild also. So if you want to improve very fast, it's just practice. Just to do a lot of solves every day. Which is probably not the thing I'm doing right now. I'm kind of lazy with free blind practice. I kind of have to practice more. I'm kind of surprised I keep getting pure singles in comp.
Yeah, and that rounds off our journey. We got, I think, 2 more things to do, and then we can say goodbye. First, or apart from those 2 things, one of them is, or another thing is, Emanuel Skålberg congratulating you on a Pyra NR.
Thank you, Emanuel. It means a lot.
And then second, or I guess it's firstly now. Wait, I had it here. Maybe we don't have anything else except for one more thing, because we've done all this. Yeah. The final thing, I guess, will be, what is your biggest or best tip for, I guess for it can either be cubing in general or blind, seeing that you are pretty good at blind. So if you had one tip to give to a cuber, what would it be?
A blind tip. The thing I talked about earlier. If you want to get good at blind and start practicing a lot, doing the visual solves and not only doing time solves is very good, because it's like for Megawings, for example. If you want to get very efficient, you can't do a lot. You can't only do time solve, because then you try to rush the solve and you don't have time to think about efficient solutions. It's the same for blind and every cube. I guess. Do not only do time solves. Do other practices and do I don't know, I've forgotten what it's called, but deliberate practice it is. Do deliberate practice for every dual say event. Getting stuck on time solves is often a big problem.
Yeah, and I think that rounds up our session today. If you guys in the chat have anything that you want to be answered about blind, I guess you have probably like a minute max to put it in the chat, and we'll probably go through it. But apart from that, this has been a good insight into what it takes to be good at blind, how to get better at blind, and everything blind, I guess. I think we've all learned a lot from one of Sweden's top blind cubers. Now that we have let the chat go for like a minute, I think maybe they have nothing else to say, it seems like.
Okay.
So guys, it's time to say bye to Eskil. Everybody say bye. Oh, we got a comment. There is a question. How do you memorize corner twist in multi-blind? This is actually a really important question. This
is a good one. Good question, Ruben. Okay, I'm gonna have to set one situation up to just simulate.
Why don't you just like do the illegal stuff and just like too. It works.
Okay, this is a situation. If you have now I'm using freestyle. It may be a little hard to understand, but for corner twists, I often just memorize the letter of the twist. In this I have P, and then I have this corner twister. So I would probably just memorize PAR. So I memorize something for PA, and then just R, basically.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about memorizing? So I mean, I have to do, I don't know, freestyle, so I guess it'll just have to be M2 or OP. But in this case, that is not a corner flip. What am I doing?
Okay, wait, should I set one up for old Pokemon?
There we go.
Oh yeah,
I have.
I do the same thing. So if in that case you have MJ or no
MJ,
no DM. Yeah, you can memorize how you want.
Well, yeah,
I guess.
But what do you think about just memorizing where the white is?
Yeah, and I think you can just pick.
Because just do J, so then
exactly.
And then, but I guess the hard part with that is you have to remember that this is a corner flip.
Yeah,
and not just a regular, which could be hard, especially if you're doing 18 plus cubes.
I guess I feel if I am very good to visualize my I guess you could say I have a photographic memory on the cube, because when I do blind and especially multi, I kind of memorize how the cube looks for some reason. My lettering memo isn't as good, but so I can just remember how, if it is a corner twist or a edge flip or something like that. But you kind of have to memorize it or come up with your own way. And Ruben's comment with so many letters, I agree with that. It's a lot of letters.
Why couldn't it just be like A and B? Wouldn't that be nice? Just memorizing A and B.
Yeah, I guess that would be nice.
And Yuck Baloney Celine, he says, yeah, I do the same.
Yeah.
And he also says bye to
Bye, Jack.
Eskil. Now, I think that is hopefully that's it now. So once again, everybody say bye, Eskil. And thank you for coming on the podcast today. This has actually been a long time coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No, it was so fun having you here and getting an insight into, well, everything blind, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
So once again, everybody say bye, Eskil, and I guess I'll see you at maybe Götaland, maybe Mästerskapet,
Yeah.
or
If
especially or definitely Worlds next year.
No shit. Of course. But yeah, if there is some big comp in Stockholm, I'll come to it. If it's like similar to River Lake, I'll definitely come to it because River Lake was a blast.
I forgot to click the button to pay. I had done everything except for paying, and then I thought it was like the other competitions where it's like where it's usually like the Friday and then like 2 days or 3 days before, and then 2 days before usually it is, but this time it was 3 days before.
Yeah,
and that messed me up. But
I have a really funny story about that because QuiYi Open, I actually wasn't registered. I just came there because I had already booked all the train tickets and stuff and planned the entire weekend because I did the same thing as you. I thought the registration ended a couple of days earlier, and then on Monday I just get a text from my dad saying that I got unregistered from the competition, and I got like jump scared, and then I still came to QuiYi Open. It was still a very good comp, but it was kind of sad I couldn't compete because I got a 5 unofficial official solving 3x3, which is my only 5 in comp.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
But guys, this has been Eskil on the podcast, and good luck with the rest of your blind endeavors.
Yeah.
Guys, that has been episode, is it 14? Episode 14 of the Plus 2 podcast. Now, if you want to learn more about cubing, you can check out my videos, my tutorials. Although they may not be expert stuff, they can definitely get you started into speed cubing. Maybe you'll learn something new as well. And guys, don't forget to check out my my new vlog channel, because I vlog every competition I go to. The behind the scenes and stuff, and some other things that are interesting. I haven't uploaded in a while there, but I'll try to get a video up soon. And then also check out my website, because there's some big updates coming, and there's going to be a new tutorial section. So maybe we'll get Eskil to write a 3-style tutorial for the website. Who knows? But you can, in the near future, find some good tutorials and other cubing content there. Now, guys, thank you so much for watching and being here on the Plus 2 podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment any tips, tricks, or video ideas. Have a great rest of your day. And guys, go learn blind, go practice blind, and maybe we'll see you at the next comp competing and getting your first blind success, because that would be amazing. Once again, have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.